Hello everyone, Scary Skeleton Reactor here, bringing to you yet another reaction video. Now, this time I'm going to be reacting to something more different this time. And this one is going to be a top 10 video from WatchMojo.com. This is top 10 most evil kids in history. Now, this has been requested by Marissa May, and because this is going to be the reaction is going to be a lot different than normal, and WatchMojo.com, they are a big name and they're a big brand, so it's highly likely that you're going to see me doing a lot of playing and pausing, so just so that I don't hopefully not get a copyright strike. And even I'll put the disclaimer in the description, and I'll try to I'll see what I can do just so I won't get a copyright strike, because it's highly likely that this might. So yeah, one way I'm nervous, the other way I mean, it's really the first time that I actually got requested to react to a WatchMojo.com video, so yeah. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, and by the way, I don't have any sponsors for this, so I'll see what I can do just so that I don't get copyright strikes. So fingers crossed. Start. Most evil kids. I'm thinking around between 8 and 12.
Without the benefit of parole for the rest of your natural life.
Normally, we love young people, but these kids are beyond salvation. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most evil kids in history.
This awful, raging, eating.
I also think of between 12 and 17. Since we are talking juveniles
focusing
here.
on young people who took up a life of crime and subsequently crossed one moral line or another. Our focus is primarily on people 18 and younger.
Yeah,
as
I thought.
There are more than a few cases of adolescents and teenagers going down a dark path.
Yeah.
So you won't find the Menendez brothers here, since they were 21 and 18 years old at the time of their parents' murders.
Yeah. Yeah, I was suspecting that that the Menendez brothers were not going to be there, since after reading more about them, that they were at adult age when they did what they did. Oh, and by the way, since my for those who don't know, since my major is in criminal justice and I'm in my second year trying to get my associates, so yeah, juvenile delinquency is one of the courses that I had to take. It was a requirement, so I'll let you know my thoughts on each of the 10 cases here, and if I know any of them or are even familiar with it. So yeah, let's continue.
Number 10, Willie Bosket.
I don't think I've heard of him.
There just doesn't appear to be any option except crime. That's what Harlem native Willie Bosket seemed to think. He believed that, like his father, he himself would end up being a murderer. Between March 19th and 27th, 1978, the 15-year-old fatally shot 3 people, including...
15? Oh, man. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, 15 years old, but at the same time, when I think of juveniles in the juvenile justice system, I'm thinking somewhere in the ballpark between 16, 17, but I would like hear cases with them being charged with murder, but 15, too young, man, too young.
including one New York Transit employee. Bostic
Ah.
pleaded guilty, but was initially sentenced to a mere 5 years in a youth facility. He later
Yeah, that's another concern I have for the juvenile justice system, and particularly of certain crimes, and whether it's misdemeanor or felony, like I am for that juveniles have a second chance, but it depends on the crime though, and those charged with murder, it's a touchy subject, but I think once they I feel like they should be charged as adult, but only those who are 17, since they're almost 18. I feel like that they should be tried as adult, particularly when it comes to murder. But those are my thoughts.
went on to accumulate a sentence of 82 years to life for assault, arson, and attempted escape from a correctional facility.
Okay, yeah. I know that one of the crimes that are felonies is arson, but I mean, if he was charged with murder, then 82 years to life, okay, that I can sort of understand, because arson is another major felony which is one of the worst that you can really commit, so yeah, let's continue.
Number 9, Josh Phillips.
I've not heard of him either, so now I'm starting to fear that most of these names I'm not going to be familiar with, so I really gotta look up more, gotta do some more research.
Knew Josh and knew that visibly he was one of the nicest kids in the neighborhood.
Is it right to call this an error in judgment? Back in November of 1998, a young girl named Maddie Clifton went missing in Jacksonville, Florida. A week after Maddie's disappearance, her body was found in the waterbed of 14-year-old Josh Phillips, who had beaten and stabbed her to death.
Oh my, yeah, I mean, here we go. It's the fact that this is murder of a minor, which definitely one of the worst acts of violence. It's devastating on not just the victims, but the I can't imagine how this guy's parents are feeling. They pretty much lost their son, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think he may be serving life in prison, maybe tried as an adult, but I might be wrong because it's been a long time.
Phillips has since claimed he regrets the incident, but with a life sentence on first-degree murder charges and no parole in sight, we doubt he'll be leaving prison anytime soon.
Yeah, it's kind of what I expected. Being charged with murder as a juvenile, the chances of serving a life sentence, it is real. There's no denying that.
In my own time, I believe I will find the forgiveness that will satisfy my heart.
Number 8, Edmund Kemper.
Again, I have to be honest, I don't think I've heard of that name before, but it's the stories that it's what you hear on the news, that those stories and how it went down, that's what gets you.
I had no thoughts at all that Ed could do what he said he had done.
Appearing well-adjusted can disguise some of your worst qualities.
Then I began destroying.
Sadly, yeah, that is true. I've heard the phrase, always look out for the quiet ones. Yeah, even those. But yeah, I mean, that theory, I do think that's true, but those who seem put together, I mean, they could be hiding skeletons in our closets, no pun intended. Sorry for the bad joke.
Destroying inanimate objects, valuables of mine and others. Then I began killing dogs, cats.
For instance,
I think there's this one case that I was familiar with, even though it was never mentioned in any of the major courses that I've taken thus far. But those juveniles who are becoming hardened criminals, the very first acts of violence is towards animals. In one case that I remembered, I think I might butcher the name of that suspect, but Jason Massey, I think that's his name. But it's a case down in Texas where he was convicted of 2 counts of murder of 2 minors, but he had this journal explain of his aspirations of becoming like the world's infamous serial killer, where he started off his crime as just slaughtering animals, dogs, cats. I think a cow was involved, but I'm not sure. But that's one of the first. It's one of the first cases that just pops to mind. Let's continue.
young Edmund managed to convince psychologists at the Atascadero State Hospital that he was of sound mind, despite having killed his grandparents in the aftermath of an argument when he was 15.
He called.
What? Kill your grandparents at 15? Yeah. How can you explain that? How can anyone say that their mind is sound after you admit that you killed your grandparents at 15? I guess wolf in sheep's clothing, I suppose.
Called his mom after he killed his grandparents, his father's parents, and said, "Mom, I just killed. What should I do?" And she said, "Call the cops."
He managed to avoid serving more than 5 years in prison, and
Come on. No less than 5 years in prison? I mean, come on, we're talking murder here. Where's the justice in that? I mean, even if he did I think he did go to the juvenile justice system, but I feel like after that he should be transported to the adult correction facility.
was released in 1969. But tragically, that allowed him to murder 6 female college students, his mother, and his mother's friend 3 years later.
Yeah, I'm starting to see why a lot of people are saying that the justice system failed them. I mean, this is clearly one of the examples here. It could have been preventable. This could have been prevented.
It goes without saying that appearances can be deceiving.
Exactly.
Why would they get in a car with somebody at that time? She judged me not to be that guy. I didn't look like it.
Number 7, Graham Young.
And was really educating himself into.
I've never heard this name either.
Chemist. It's just unfortunate that the chemistry he was interested in was poisonous.
Suddenly, tea seems a lot less appetizing now. Meet Graham Young, a native of Neasden in London, who had been fascinated with the effects of poison since his childhood.
He'd slipped some antimony into his friend's sandwich. Williams would be off school for a few days with some mystery virus. Doctors would say it was a virus or a bug.
In 1962,
oh my goodness. Please don't tell me he got that idea from, I'm not trying to be funny, but there's this one, I think it's a play where, or a book or a novel where, two elderly women would go, poisoning men with, elderberry wine. I don't know if that's the idea that he got it from, but I mean, yeah, poisoning, yeah, whether it's either arsenic, rat poison, or ethylene glycol, or antifreeze. Yeah, it's a slow, rough way to go. I think also castor beans, if I'm not mistaken. It's rough. One of the worst ways to go out.
Young was arrested after confessing to the attempted poisoning of his family.
Oh,
An act which
his
included
entire
serving
family?
His own sister T, laced with deadly nightshade. The teen underwent 9 years of detainment in the psychiatric facility Broadmoor Hospital before he was released, only to later use his position as a quartermaster to poison approximately 70 people with tea, which earned him the nickname the Teacup Poisoner.
Okay, yeah, I can understand the reason why of using psychiatric wards and mental institutions, but I mean, those who say that they are cured of their illness, that they beat their demons, they need to be taken a longer look at than take their word for it. It's possible that I may have to do a part 2 just because of the constant playing and pausing, but I'm trying my best not to have a copyright strike, because there are a couple of videos that I try to upload and they're not visible to you guys, so I'm trying my best.
Fitting, but unsettling.
He should never have been let out of Broadmoor in the first place. I accept that he manipulated and was clever there.
Number 6, Brian and David Freeman. Siblings stick together, even in the face of a criminal
I
investigation.
don't know, I think I might have heard
Brothers
this,
Brian and
but
David,
not in a
the
course,
eldest children
but
of the Freeman family, were also fervent neo-Nazis who resented their strict upbringing as Jehovah's Witnesses. The duo's resulting violent relationship with their family came to a head in February of 1995, when both brothers were apprehended for the murder of their parents and younger brother Eric.
It kind of all came out in that one second. So I think about it.
Yeah, I think I might have heard this one, but this was definitely not what I learned in any of my courses, but geez, completely unacceptable. Come on. And I think I've heard of a couple where siblings, aside from the Menendez brothers, where they're involved in such heinous acts, but that's too much.
I don't know. It just happened.
Brian, David, and their associate/cousin Ben Birdwell conspired to plead guilty and avoid the death sentence. They got their wish, but landed lifetime sentences in the process.
I never thought about the consequences of anything I did at that age. I was impulsive. I didn't care about the future.
Number 5.
Okay, I think I may have to stop here. So we pretty much reacted to 10 through 6. So I'm probably gonna have to do a part 2 of this video. So anyways, it is disturbing. It's how juveniles can turn out like this. And of course there's the theory of between nature versus nurture, which I had to so far take 2 sociology courses and 2 psychology courses, which yeah, it's all coming back. And like, it depends on the environment and like how the children are raised and how they're growing up, whether they're surrounded by positive peer influence or negative peer pressure. Yeah, it's really sad to see that some of these kids who they really had, who they could have had bright futures, but they're just tossed away and serving prison sentences, not having much childhood. So anyways, I'll do a part 2 right here. So thank you guys so much for watching. You know the drill. Please like, please subscribe. If you guys have requests, comment down below. See you for part 2, and hopefully not get a copyright strike after doing a lot of playing and pausing. So hopefully this works. Peace.